Cruise lines love to advertise that they are an all-inclusive option. In theory, you can get on the cruise ship and have your room, your food, and see some pretty cool places, all for one price. However, the cruise industry's main business model is centered around convincing you to purchase upgrades to your all-inclusive experience.
Now, we're big believers in you should spend your money on how you see fit. That being said, we put together a list of 10 things that we believe are a waste of money. So let's get going. First one up are photo packages. That's right. Those guys walking around the ship asking if they can always take a photo of you. So always. But a lot of times these are a waste of money because you know what? We all have great cameras nowadays right on our phones. You can ask somebody to take a photo of you on a staircase with a backdrop or whatever, even selfie sticks. So you don't even need to really purchase these unless you have something really special like an anniversary and you want a photo done of that. In addition, most of these photos, it's like $20 just for one photo and they'll send you a digital copy. So, I mean, it's really kind of a waste of money.
Our next waste of money on a cruise is not doing the math for your drink package. Now, this truly is an individual thing. For some people, purchasing a drink package itself is going to be the waste of money. For other people, especially if you're a heavy drinker, not purchasing the drink package may actually be the bigger waste of money. So let's get into it. A typical drink package costs anywhere from $50 to $100 per person per day. And a lot of people don't realize that this is per person, meaning per person in your cabin. So if you are traveling with young kids or a lot of people, realize every single person is going to have to purchase a drink package. Now, packages for small children, those are less money and usually are just for things like soda. But still, it is an expense that you need to calculate when you are looking at drink packages. A typical drink can run anywhere from $7, $8 for a beer to around $10 to $12 for a glass of wine. So if you're a light drinker, maybe you only want one wine with dinner or something like that, it's just not worth the math for you to be buying a drink package.
Keep in mind how many days you're going to be at port. Because if you have a 5-day cruise and you're at port 2 or 3 of those days are going to be really hard to catch up on your drink package if you're not getting back on the ship till 4 or 5 in the evening. So that's going to also play into how much that your package is going to offset. So keep that in mind.
Now, many of the cruise lines offer soda packages, and your drink packages will often include things like sports drinks, coffee, lattes, things like that. So again, depending on your specific drinking patterns, it might be worth it to purchase a drink package, but you have to do the math in advance. Otherwise, you may be wasting a lot of money. Our third waste of money on a cruise is your salon and spa treatments. Now, please don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with pampering yourself when you're on vacation. We're just trying to say that, thanks. We're just trying to say they're not a very good value for your money. A typical massage on a cruise ship can be anywhere from $150 to $200 to start, and that doesn't even include tip or anything else. Additionally, a lot of times the spas will offer these free things that they want you to come in and allow you to experience. In reality, all it is an attempt to upsell you either for fancy creams or for other spa services.
You can also get a massage at many of your ports of call, which are going to be significantly less expensive, usually around that $20 to $50 range, sometimes maybe a little more depending on length of time, but they're going to be substantially less expensive.
Our fourth waste of money on this list is tipping twice. Now, please understand, I tend to be a rather generous tipper. I feel that the people who are working for me and are working really hard should be compensated for that effort. I have no problem with that. The only reason I'm mentioning it is that a lot of times the cruise lines are now automatically adding in those gratuities to things like your bar bill if you purchase an extra glass of wine, or to your spa bill for your massage. If they are adding in anywhere from 15 to 20% gratuity, and then you add that amount on additionally, that can be a bit of a waste of money.
Yeah.
So before you sign a slip or leave the ship, double check to see that those gratuities have or have not been added on, and then you can tip appropriately.
The next one up on our list is shore excursions. That's right, shore excursions can get pricey depending on which port of call you're in and what package you pick. That being said, there's a lot of free options out there if you just look a little more closely and carefully, such as in Roatan, for instance, at Mahogany Bay, they have a free beach at Mahogany Bay. If you're in Costa Maya, they have multiple pools that you could use. In Taino Bay, they have a free lazy river at their port. So you've got a lot of free options right at a lot of these ports if you don't want to spend money. And we'll leave a link down in the description below to some of these excursions and ports of call that we've been to before to give you a little bit of an idea of what you could do for free.
Now, if you do want to get away from the ship and experience a shore excursion, there are a number of options that are available to you. First, I strongly recommend you do some research into what options are available at each port and what you might want to do. After that, you might want to look online on websites like TripAdvisor to find out some local providers. Sometimes they can offer a much more personalized experience at some pretty reasonable prices. Sometimes the best option might be for you to get a cab or an Uber and just drive directly to what you might want to see. A little research up front could save you an awful lot of money on the back end. Now, please know, I'm not saying all cruise ship shore excursions are a bad idea. We've done a number of them and have had a really good time. It's just we're encouraging you to save some money. You need to do a little research up front.
As another example, when we were in Roatan, we booked a private excursion and they took us around the entire island, just the two of us and a driver. And they took us to West Bay, they took us to the monkeys and the sloths and a couple of other spots. And it was like $55 or something like that. And we had a great time. We weren't packed on a bus or anything. And it was far less expensive than if we would have just booked a package through the ship.
Yeah, so doing a little research up front will definitely help you out. Our next waste of money on this list is shopping on the ship. While it might feel like fun to shop while you're on a ship, the reality is you are a captive audience, and the prices reflect that. Most of your souvenirs and other items are significantly more expensive than what you might find at a port or on land in other places. Additionally, a lot of the items that are listed as duty-free, again, are really not that much of a discount compared to what you might find on shore.
In addition to that, a lot of your art on the ship, the art galleries, is pretty much not worth it. I mean, Ann knows I'm a big art connoisseur, but I'm not. But you're going to have to do some research because more often than not, the art on these ships is not worth the value of what they have the price tags for. But do your research first.
Another thing to consider when you are shopping is to make sure you remember to pack your things like your toiletries. Because if you need to replace your toothbrush or toothpaste on a cruise ship, get ready to pay a whole lot of money. We always have a go bag in our luggage of things like Tums, cold medicine, Advil, all that kind of stuff, just in case you might need it. If you do forget a toiletry item, a really good idea is to try to pick it up at the next port, because even a port store in Mexico is probably going to be cheaper than what you're going to see on the ship.
And our number 7 item is kind of tied in with the last one, and that's shopping at the ports. A lot of these ports, a good example is Nassau with the straw market. When we were walking through there and you pick up a lot of the items and you look at them real carefully, they'll say made in China. So a lot of them are not always made locally, and you're going to have to check that out. In addition to that, a lot of the jewelry is not real. Some of it can be fake. And there's been a lot of complaints by cruisers when they get home and they find out that the jewelry they bought at a port shop was not real. Next up, specialty dining. That's right. Specialty dining can get expensive. Your food is already included on the ship for the most part. A lot of times these specialty dining packages also are limited in what you can order.
Yeah, some of these packages you will pay anywhere from $50 to $100 extra for a meal, and realistically, you may not necessarily get much value for that, especially when you figure you have already bought your meal in the price of your cruise.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a special intimate experience or really want to try some sort of specialty food, go for it. Just realize it's really not a big money-saving idea. If you're interested in more details about specialty dining, check out this video, also linked in the description below. The next item on this list is the casino. Let's be honest, cruise ship casinos are not Las Vegas. They are notorious for having incredibly low payouts. Why, you might ask? Well, in Las Vegas, if you're not doing well, you can walk next door to another casino. You can't do that on a cruise ship, and they know that. So if you are planning to gamble, go for it. It could be a good time. But just realize you're probably not going to be making money or winning much in those experiences.
Just be sure to bring some cash with you and set a limit so that you don't wind up walking off the ship broke.
Or paying huge ATM fees.
Or, yeah, that too.
The last item on this list of our 10 items that are a waste of money on a cruise is data roaming. Now, this one is actually divided into a couple of different pieces. First, you need to, this is a big one for first-time cruisers, you need to put your phone into airplane mode when you get on your cruise ship. Most cellular plans do not include cruise ships, even the international ones. And so your phone will continually be looking for a signal and will be, especially if you're close to shore, could potentially be ringing up huge roaming fees. So you want to put that phone into airplane mode. Secondly, internet packages on ships are also incredibly expensive. Now, I know some people need internet packages, especially for work or maybe for the kiddos. Fine. But those prices tend to be enormous. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing with the internet is absolutely necessary. Or, as we usually do, wait till you get to shore. And we have an international internet package, and so we just do all of our internet stuff when we're on shore. And while we're on the ship, enjoy being a little disconnected.
If you are at sea and you see your phone is not on airplane mode, a lot of times it'll say cellular at sea. And people have racked up hundreds and even thousands of dollars of fees if they think that they're online and they make a phone call or something. So keep that in mind.
We hope this list will help you to plan your next cruise and hopefully avoid those massive credit card bills when you get home.
If you're interested in more ways to save money, check out our other video here on Cruise Budget Essentials.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it.
See you next week.